Good evening, Facebook and social media. We are here for another discussion on the JADASA Live platform. And tonight it is going to be just off the chain. I mean, I've met this lady and we just clicked, we just clicked. And it's just awesome for what she's doing in the community. But before we go there, I want you to make sure you go to our page, like and share. Go to my page, Cynthia or Bennett or Jadasa's page, like and share. And I believe it is on the Hood Talks page as well. And if you have people that want to come on here that do not have Facebook social media, you can go to our YouTube channel, JADASA Live, and we will be streaming there as well simultaneously. So you can go out there, tell your people to go out on the line because this is going to be a good discussion. But before we get into the nice discussion, I want you to know that we are having an upcoming opportunity, an upcoming event this Saturday called the Dignity Drive. And we're all about helping the community and reaching out and reaching back and pulling forward. And a lot of times, sometimes, people need help. We all need help. Today it may be me, tomorrow it may be you. So we're having our annual Dignity Drive. We have it every July, every year. It's a Dignity Drive. And our motto is you can lose your house, your car, your relationship, your money, and your job, but you do not have to lose your dignity. And so we having these toiletries out here that is free. You have diapers and sanitary items for women and bath gels and toothbrush and toothpaste and deodorant and towels and slippers. All of this stuff is free. We also have an organization that's going to be out there. They're going to be grilling hot dogs and water, providing drinks and hot dogs. This is free to the community. So if you know anybody, tell the homeless people that's out on the street, somebody that they may not be homeless, but they just in need at this time. Tell them to come out. We're going to be at 1433 Steiney Road, which is across the street from the Delwood Rec Center. Go to my webpage, www.jadasa.org. The flyer is out there. The flyer is on the JADASA Facebook page as well as my personal Facebook page, Cynthia R. Bennett. This event is from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're only going to be out there 3 hours, y'all, because y'all know it's hot. So we need you all to come on out and get your stuff. I just like to keep it real. I have to be me. I can't be nobody else but me.
I love it.
We're helping y'all. We are going to help y'all, but we need you all to come out 10 a.m. to 1 o'clock this Saturday, July the 24th at the Dignity Drive. This is our 4th year of reaching out to the community. Come out. The stuff is free, y'all. It's free. Just come out and get it. Even if you know some people that probably can't make it, maybe transportation, come and pick it up for them. Take it to them. We are good stewards from one another. Let's be the good Samaritans for each other in the community. So I wanted to get that out the way about what we're doing this Saturday only, July the 25th. The Dignity Drive. Go out to my webpage, jadasa.org. Go to the website or go to the Facebook page, Cynthia R. Bennett, or the JADASA page. Look at the flyer. Come out there and get you some toiletries. Or tell some people to come out there and get some toiletries and get some food, okay? It is all FREE. So you can't get no better than that, okay? So tonight we have someone I want to just introduce you to some and present to others. I know some of you all know who she is. And Shavana Spratt, but we call her Vanna, the turning the letters and stuff, but she ain't turning the letters. She turning the community upside down. She turning up the topics. She turning up the issues, okay? Not the letters.
Hello.
So, Vanna, I am excited to have you here on the JADASA Live platform, and I am so glad that you decided and you had enough time in your schedule to come and be on this discussion tonight.
Well, I am so excited to be here. It's definitely different being on the other side, but I'm enjoying it. Sit back and I'm ready to get into this too.
Awesome. So, we know you are the host and the founder and the creator of the Dahoodtalks
Podcast.
And I know you've been on several major platforms just since your inception in December, which tells you what you have to offer, the services you have to offer is definitely needed. And so, won't you share something some with us about the Hood Talks?
Well, hello, everybody. I am the host and creator of the Hood Talks Podcast. The Hood Talks Podcast is, I would say, a community podcast. I always say that because we like to put community voices first, and we know community voices matter. And so what we do at the Hood Talks Podcast, we have different layers to the Hood Talks Podcast. We do live shows where we have a panel of guests, different topics. We talk about mental health. We talk about healthy relationships. We talk about politics. We talk about racism, and just different topics. And we go live with a panel to bring conversation around these different topics. And then we have the Hood Needs segment where we talk to organizations, usually nonprofits, some businesses, depends on what you all are offering, because we want to make sure that these people are catering to the community and we're not here to sell anything. So we offer the 30 to 60 minute segment, the Hood Needs, where we talk to the organizations about how beneficial they are to the community, what they serve to the community, and how the community can support them along with how they support the community. And I mean, it's so many levels to the Hood Talks Podcast because our mission is to really engage the community. It's to be resourceful to the community, empower and educate the community. And like I said, we do this by having these great panels and having these tough topics and conversations.
You know what, and I'm glad you said that because when you was listening all the topics, those are tough topics that needs to be addressed because, you know, we can no longer sweep them under the rug. You know, It's not like out of sight, out of mind. You know, long, you know, what stays in the house, you know, what goes on in the house stays on the house. No.
Yes, no.
We're not doing that no more. Because we see how is it working for you. How is it working for you?
And it's not working. It hasn't been working for us. And I truly believe in breaking generational curses. And I think that is one of the things that has been a failure to us and when I say us in the community, I like to specific Black community, urban community, because again, these are some generational curses that we have endured and we've learned out of survival, but we've taken them on and they have not been successful in helping us move forward and to flourish. And so, just bringing people together, like, let's sit here, let's talk about this, let's discuss it, and also let's educate so people can know, like, okay, there's a different way, there's a different route. Let's try these healthier alternatives and let's flourish.
And you know what? And it's good that you said that about educating because you know, in the Black culture, we was growing up. You know, our parents, they did the best that they could.
Yes.
With what they had and what they knew and stuff. And so, a lot of times, when you was growing up, first of all, you didn't hang around grown folks talking.
No, you didn't.
That was a no-no. You don't, and you definitely don't you interject and say something while they're having a conversation.
No.
And so our culture was, the hush hush, unless they brought it to you or something. It was just
what don't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah, those
don't
things.
Tell my business out there in them streets. Right. Don't nobody gotta know what's going on in my house.
Right. That's our culture.
Girl, look, I know.
But it was not necessarily healthy.
No.
But you know what? But to give credence to our parents, they were survivors.
And that's what I always say that it was unhealthy habits and that came from survival. They were just trying to survive, and they took on the things that helped them survive, even if it was harmful. It helped them survive. It was survival mode.
Right.
So
even
shout out to them.
They adjusted. Adjusted.
Yeah, they had to. But now we know what we are up against. So now it's time for us to okay, let's change the narrative. Let's do something different. We know why they did it. We forgive them for doing it. Now, how can we move forward and change our ways for the next generation so we can make them move forward and flourish?
It's good. So before we ask why you got started, I want to ask you of the topics that you have already discussed since your inception in December. What was one topic that was so? I mean, I'm sure all of them was.
I was to say, you gonna make me pick one?
No, I mean one that was just such an eye opener that it was just, I mean, all of them are needed, but it's like that one was like, this was the time. This was the moment for this to happen now.
Y'all, I can't even I can't pick one, but I'm gonna try, and I'm gonna do it for a different reason. Okay. There was a segment, Us Against Us, and that segment was geared to the Black community to talk about how we can work together, come together, heal our traumas, and move forward as a unified. And when I say that was a tough conversation to have, even the panel, it was really a hard conversation. So I'm gonna say that one. But I mean, we have dived into so many deep topics that needed to be hit. If you don't mind, I'll take a minute just to list some. Yes, we did sexual abuse, and that hit home for me as a sexual abuse survivor. That was my first time actually even announcing that out loud and in public. So that hit home for me. Superwoman, No More Superwoman. We just did that one not too long ago. That hit home for me. How to fighting racism authentically. That was a great panel. I mean, again, we've had so many since December. I started in December, and I've done over 20 live shows.
Awesome. And it's like I said, what you're producing, what you're doing, it is very, very much needed. And it's something that, you know, we have to talk about. It's important for our healing, you know, because we can't just keep stuff bottled up.
No,
we just can't keep stuff bottled up and just say, oh, you know, let go, bygones be bygones. No, bygones is not helping.
It's like, let's come to the table, have these tough conversations, and then we're going to talk about solutions and how can we move forward and unify.
Right,
I think that's going to help.
Exactly, because if it's a wound, you know, we have to open it so the air can address it, so it can heal. Yes. Instead of, because like as I told you before, when we were talking before, you know, there's a lot of people walking around that's wounded, and some that's walking around with scars, and you can definitely tell a person who has a scar and a person who's wounded, because a person that's wounded is still open.
Yes.
And it just comes out. And so these are and so I just love your platform. You know, I just believe we're going to do a lot of stuff together going forward, because it is needed. You know, one organization can't do it. Organization can't do it. The need is too great.
I agree. And I love that. I think that's one of the things too, moving forward, that a lot of organizations need to tap into, is that we have a lot of organizations here in St. Louis, and doing the work separately is not going to help.
Yeah, we can't be siloed.
No, we have to unify our organizations also, so we can support people in the whole. And then that way, no one can fall through the cracks. Because if we keep being separated, and, you know, you do yours and I do mine, then now people are falling through the cracks, and we're missing people. And so then that's when you get people out here that's hurting and ain't got the help they need or the assistance they need, because they're falling through the cracks, because we're not trying to come together and be like, hey, I'll hold their hand right now, and then I'll pass them along to you so you can hold their hand too. Like, let's come together and join together and help people. And
exactly. And that's an initiative we probably need to, talk about moving forward, even after this session, because like I said, the need is great, and so I just love what you're doing. I believe in what you're doing, because it aligns with what I'm doing with JADASA, domestic and sexual abuse and neglect, because all of that stuff, these are little kids who grew up to be big kids and still dealing with it. Because it wasn't addressed back here. Kids see a lot, they have to deal with a lot. Kids that's going through a lot of stuff. I was talking to a couple of girls, and we were talking about, childhood games. Double Dutch, they didn't have a clue.
No.
What I was talking. Jacks, forget it.
I'm about to say, kids nowadays, usually, especially right now in the pandemic, and we're still kind of going through this pandemic. We keep seeing the craziness on the news, but kids right now, social life is depleted. And then going places and really, doing anything. So right now, a lot of the times they in-house on these phones, on these games, on this TV, YouTube.
And we have to teach them to be creative.
We came
up with stuff. We might got in trouble half the time for doing something, but we came up with just creative stuff.
Yes. They don't have that mental creativity. because everything is already put, like, you know, I even like, it's a lot of YouTube stuff. I be like, how y'all watching other kids play? Or, you know, those YouTube videos where they playing with the baby dolls. I'm like, how is this entertaining, you watching another kid play? Like, you could play.
Yeah, so, like Ryan's Toys review. I watched that. I'm like, really? You know, my, no. So I don't get it. So, yeah. So the second thing I want, you know, why did you start this podcast? What made you say, this is the time? You know, I'm sure there were a lot of things, but there was probably one event or one statement or one experience or one reading or one movie or something that said, it's time. This is it. This is now.
This probably sounds cliche as ever, but it really was like stepping out on faith. I did have a class.
That's a good cliche.
I know. I took a course, and shout out to NLF, Neighborhood Leadership Fellow, in NLA, Neighborhood Leadership Academy. I took the NLA class, and we had to come up with a community project. In my community project, I'm like, podcast. Hey, this is super dope. Let people voices be heard and let people, you know, talk. Because people, you know, and entertainment, people love entertainment. And I really wanted to bring entertainment to community work. So I'm like, community podcast, let's do it. But then, you know, it was just a thought. Like, it wasn't really like, okay, I'm going to do it, until I'm like, okay, can I really do this podcast thing? And from there, it literally just
took off.
I booked one episode in December, and after that episode aired, and ever since, people just was lining up to like come and be on the Hood Talks podcast. So I never want to take all of the credit at all. I really give credit to everyone that sat on the podcast platform, everyone that came up with some ideas like, hey, we should be talking about this. Hey, we should be talking about that. Hey, I want to sit on the podcast platform. I want to talk about this. So people really were just calling me out like, hey, let's talk about this. Let's do this. So shout out to everybody that did that. And shout out to everybody that has sat on the podcast platform, because this has been my first season. I know nothing about podcasting.
You're doing a good job.
I am learning as I go. But I do know that, you know, now it's like I can't turn back, because like you said, the community is saying we need this. And so I'm like, I'm delivering.
Awesome. And you are doing a magnanimous job. I mean, I love it. I watched it. Even the marketing piece. It's just, you know, it's just like, bam, right there in your face. You know, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, you know, and I like that, because, you know, we can't sugarcoat stuff.
No.
You know, we're not the kind of people that do that. You know, tell me, you know, if it's
real and raw. That's my saying, real and raw. Let's keep it real and raw.
Real and raw, because that's going to always, you know, set you free. Don't sugarcoat it because it hurts you down the line. You know, that's not real world. That's why we tell our kids, you know, but, you know, when you go in the world, you're going to have to grow up, because the world is not going to treat you like you want to be treated at home or whatever, you know. And so I enjoyed it. And so let me ask you this, the podcast you've had, and even going forward, what are some of the results that you are hoping to come out of these talks, these podcasts, these panels?
One thing that I really didn't dive into this much this season, is something that I want to, is healing. I really want us to be able to heal from some of the traumas. I really want the community to learn, learning if it's, you know, our history, what we've been through, and why, you know, how we can unify. Because I mean, when I say what we've been through, I mean like what we've experienced as a cultural people and why we are the way we are today. And if we can heal from that, help move us forward and unify, because I really believe that we can come together and, you know, make the world better for us if we work together. So that's one of the things. It's like getting us to unify, work together, as my shirt say, Black unity.
All right. You got some people saying on the screen.
Engaging the community. You know, as personally for me, I never thought about even being in the world of community or politics. But I do know that we need more of us sitting at those seats making decisions for our community. So getting people to feel like they have the right to sit at these tables and demand what their community needs when they look like me. Locks. How I talk. I always say I ain't the first proper person out here, okay? But that ain't gonna stop me from being heard. And everybody deserves to be heard. So letting people voices be heard, getting them engaged with their local leaders, learning what their what civic engagement is supposed to be, engaging with those elected officials and local leaders, and really again bridging the gap between community and leadership. That's something that I really want, and just really, again, starting to have the conversations, because I believe having those conversations, bringing those different perspectives together to see, like, we might not agree on some things, but we can agree on something, and let's how we can move that forward.
And so with that being said, how can we foster those type of relationships or bridging the gap? Because like you're saying, people don't want to be talked to no more. They tired of talk. Me personally, I am too. But they're tired of talk, And I think one of the things we can do to bridge the gap with the business community and the politicians and stuff. Well, first of all, and I know this is minor, but it goes a long way. Come out the suits. Come out of that and dress down like the
be relatable. Stop being relatable. Like you walking around here with like a 3, 4, 5 piece suit on. Like put on some basketball shorts.
Put some tennis shoes on or something. Come on.
But that ain't even that. Like be relatable. And then what I feel like with the community is let's call it out and let's hold these folks accountable. That's important. Like we can't keep expecting them to do stuff if we're not holding them accountable. And how do we hold them accountable? Get them out of office. If they're not doing what they're saying they're going to do, vote them out. You have the right to do that. You write them. Hey, demanding. We have the right to speak up and speak out about what we want. Those folks work for us. Don't get it twisted. They want it to be like, oh, we work for them or whatever. But no, they work for us. We could put them there. So the
thing about it, that's the midterm elections. You know what I mean?
That's why local. We have to not only think about the president, we have to think about local. Shout out to Evolve and the work that they're doing. If you're looking for a platform, this lady, what they're doing over at Evolve is they're going to these meetings, local meetings in the city and the county, and bringing that information to you, because this is important locally. We need to know about what's going on in your area, your city council. You need to know your mayors, your aldermen, whatever is in your area. You need to know them, have a relationship with them. And that's where the change really needs to happen, is locally.
That's awesome. And so what is maybe something that's short term that we can do as a community? I know we have short term goals and we have long term goals. What is something that's short term that's more immediate now?
I would say find out what you're passionate about, what makes you mad, put that little burning sensation in your body, and find an organization that you can partner with, volunteer to help make some changes happen. That's what we need to do. We need to get from behind these computers, get from behind these pages, and really get out here in the community and get involved. That's something that we can do. And that's small. You can 4 hours here, a couple of hours there. Like start small, or support. If you don't even want to get out, support those organizations or those people who are doing the things that you feel like are needed, especially in your community. A share goes a long way. Share some positivity. Share a video that's educating people or that's putting some positive information out there. Let's stop sharing the BS. Excuse my language.
Exactly. I know. We like to share mess.
We love drama and
like
mess.
To share drama.
That
can go viral real quick.
Yes.
Viral real quick.
Yes.
And so one of the things I also, when you was talking about even volunteering, and one of the short-term things I think too is be transparent.
Be very transparent.
Be transparent.
And open-minded. That one.
Be open-minded and realize that everybody's not going to talk like you. They're not going to look like you. They're not going to act like you. They didn't come from your same background. But because they don't act like you and look like you don't mean that they don't have anything to say. And what they have to say don't make sense, or it is credible, or it is valid. They do have valid points.
Yes.
If they may not even know how to communicate it across the way you think, or they don't know how to be politically correct, that would be me.
Right.
But they still know what they feel.
Yes.
They know what they feel.
What they're experiencing.
Yeah. What they're experiencing. Yes. And so I think it starts there. I'm thinking it's something that we can start as an organization, both of you and I, and just branch out to get other organizations. It's something that we have to start now because, I know we talk about BLM, Black Lives Matters and stuff, but a lot of times what gets under my skin is when we see all these crimes that are happening. I'm like, okay, well, when is Black Lives going to matter to us?
I agree. We definitely have to put pride into ourselves and our communities again. We do. And you know what? I also think too that the people don't have hope anymore. We don't have a standard as a culture of people anymore either, but we also have a lot of people that's walking around that's not healed and that's hopeless. So if we can bring some healing and some hope to the people, I think that will move us forward. And how do we do that? Again, it's going to take for us to get out here on these grounds, really get engaged with the people, and then also to sit again in these seats to help make decisions for the people that we know. Like being on the grounds and being part with the people, we have the right to sit at certain seats and tables that's making decisions for the people that we serve. So sitting there and also being on the grounds and helping these people, and again, bringing hope and, healing.
And then letting them see what that hope looks like. They need tangible evidence. What does that hope look like? Does that mean you bringing food into the community? You bringing jobs? What does that hope look like instead of putting it on a piece of paper? If it's on a piece of paper, how do we get it off the paper into reality? How do we move that needle? And, like you said, that's going to take some conversation. That's going to take some of us coming together, and I'm all for community involvement. I'm all for even coming together with other organizations, but we have to get out of the crab in the bucket mentality. When one is climbing, they're pulling it down. No, you are great in one area.
Yes.
I'm great in another area. There are some people that I can reach that you can't reach, and there are some people you can reach that I can't reach. But if we come together, we can reach those people combined. But if we can just get our minds to think that, to realize not everybody, like you're saying, trying to be the superwoman or trying to be the star of the show.
I was about to say, if we can stop saying my turn, and say it's your turn. So start pushing other people out there and sitting back and, just because you're in the background. First of all, community work should not be selfish.
Right.
It should be selfless.
Selfless. Yes.
It should not be selfish. And I say that I always talk about that. Community work, leadership, and like being elected officials, all that. When you go into those positions, you're really supposed to be about the people. It's not supposed to be.
They don't realize you are serving. You are to serve. You are elected in those positions to serve your community or your constituents or whoever. You are to serve, not be served.
That part.
You are to serve. That is why we put you in there. And see, and that's what people don't understand. And I look at some of our politicians, even what they're doing, and I'm like, it's gonna be kind of hard next time around.
Yes.
Because you're not indispensable.
No. And I think once leadership sees that and understands that community ain't playing when it comes to those seats, they're going to change up how they're running and what they're doing. Because right now I do think a lot of them think like we don't have enough people out here voting, because you see our voting turnouts. We don't have enough people that's engaged. So they feel like nobody's there to hold them accountable. So guess what? I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And move on past and don't worry about it. But if we're holding them accountable and we're like, look, if you're going to do what you said you're going to do, you can stay. But if you're not, we're going to vote you out. We're going to put some people in here that's going to do what they're supposed to do.
And you know what? And it's almost like we have to use reverse psychology. So, a lot of people, they get to the point where, well, why vote? They ain't gonna change. Why vote? I'm not doing.
I know.
No, we got to reverse and say, you know what?
Let's
if you vote them out. Yes. Vote them out. If they didn't do what they said they was gonna do, or if they didn't do anything before, go and vote and get them out. Don't say, or they're not doing anything right. They may not be doing anything, but guess what? Vote somebody else in and get them out. Yes. And so we have to recondition our people and the community to know that your vote is powerful.
And it starts with education.
They wouldn't be trying to suppress it.
Exactly. Look at is that Georgia right now? Look at Georgia. But yeah, I want to say that it definitely and it just starts with education too. Educating, because a lot of people, like, even if they do go vote, they don't know who they're voting for, what they're voting for, and so they're just filling out stuff just because other people said something.
And and maybe we can do this, because I would even like this, because even though JADASA is for the community, we are a community-based organization. I feel like we should maybe get with some organization, you and I, and some other organizations that's dealing with Evolve. Whoever these constituents are that's running, put their name, maybe their face, and maybe 2 or 3 major bullet points, and put it in layman terms so people can know, oh, this is what they're running for.
Yeah.
Don't give me, because I'm going to tell you, I will be at the phone, but wait a minute, what is Proposition H?
Yes, and they sneak that stuff.
You got to write up on Proposition H. What is that?
Look, let me see. I hit the judges. I'll be like, who is these judges? I don't know who's that. But they don't talk about the judges when them ads running on TV. So when you go vote, you like, who is these people?
Right, but you can go on the St. Louis County website and get those names.
You have to look.
We can do that.
Google them.
Right, the midterm elections and stuff, come up with a list and get 2 or 3 bullet points, and then communicate and educate the people. Send it out. We can put it on we can do door hangers. Put them on door hangers and put that information on, put them on people's door hangers. At least they know what these people have done, their track record, whether it's good or bad, or what they stand for, so they will know why they're voting. Because I think a lot of frustration is people would get to these polls and they'd be like, who was that? So I think that's a part of organizations coming together and being a part of that, and just getting those bullet points, those names and stuff. So they will know, and they know that, my vote is powerful.
Yes.
Because we don't want them to feel like, well, I don't know why I'm not going to worry about voting, because they going to do what they want to do. No, what you do is vote them out and get somebody else.
Yes.
So that's why we have to change the concept of the thinking. If they're not doing what you want them to do, vote them out and get somebody else.
Yes. And go sit at these tables, boards and commissions. Sit on these tables with these people that's making decisions for your neighborhoods and your communities, and they don't even live there. Go apply for them. Partner up with it's some great organizations that's teaching those type of skills. Shout out to NLF, Neighborhood Leadership Fellow. Go look into those programs. Get educated, and really learn how you can apply yourself and sit in these seats, and get them people out of there, because we need more of us anyway. We talk about diverse, so we need more of us.
And we need more of us that's gonna do something. I'm not putting you in there just because you look like me and you ain't doing nothing.
That too. Say that. Let's not start out black politicians running these like a mob.
Right. You ain't doing that.
I ain't gonna even start out that but yes, we definitely need us that's going to do the work. And not just sit there and be a token.
Yeah, be a token and be about the change and be transparent. Say what you're gonna do. And my thing is this: I have more respect for a politician or anybody that's working in the community, because we're talking about the community.
Yes.
If I ask you something and you don't know, just say, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll get back to you though. I don't know.
But
I'll find out and I'll get back. I have more respect for you than you to come and sit up and try to make up something on the
Or
fly
I
like
just,
you
or
got
I
it going
can't.
on.
It's okay to be like, I thought I could, but I couldn't because blah 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 blah. Like, explain why you didn't make it happen.
Follow
And have
up.
a valid reason why you couldn't. But don't just drop the ball and then expect to be right. You'll have your seat next turn. No.
Right. Follow up. And so we talk about that even with, the domestic violence and sexual violence, in the community, in our community, it is really up, especially since this pandemic and stuff. So it's about still communicating and educating our community. You don't have to take that. No, you're not these names they call you. You're not these whores. You're not these has-been. You're not any of these things.
Right.
And so they've heard it so much.
Yeah.
They become conditioned to it. And
Yeah.
so now we have to start speaking into them. No, you are queen. You are smart. You are beautiful. You can do this. You can get your education. You can get that job. You can be a business owner. You can do whatever you put your mind to, because we have to start building them up. Like you said, people feel like they have no hope because they have been beaten down by society. I was telling somebody
the system
on a podcast weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago. I said, I didn't even know we was poor growing up until society told me.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Because you glorify the small things. We glorify family. We glorify time. We glorify the little things. Now society has become so materialistic. Facebook can be so depressing for people because people are putting out only good things. And so they only see these good things and they're like, well, why am I living up to this expectation? When in reality, them people, only 2 seconds of their life has been flashed across your screen.
Right. And then they put their best picture up there.
They gonna put their best picture up there. They ain't gonna put they hair messed up or like many of those. And I try my hardest to try to do that because I call it real life moments. Because again, people are looking at expectations and like wondering why they can't live up to that extreme. And it's like it's not you. It's not you. You're good. But if you keep seeing this and everybody else like they got it together and your stuff is falling apart, that is suicidal and depression.
It brings depression. Yes, it brings suicide. It brings and it's not reality.
It's not reality.
It's false. It's false security. It's not real. And
we have to stop glorifying that. We have
to stop glorifying that. Facebook and social media is good for what you want. Like what I'm doing, I'm using it for a purpose.
And that's what we need to again keep promoting. And that's why I say, like, I really talk about things like this, the Hood Talks podcast and your platform. Is like we're here to help and educate and empower. Like you can really have those moments, but what work are you doing? So shedding light on these positive things that's helping you and put perspective in what's really good for you, being healthy, healing, mental health awareness, like healing, from traumas. That's good stuff. You should be wanting to listen to somebody that's trying to help you figure out what therapist you should go to, or what a healthy relationship looks like, or what to look for in a sexual abuser that you can, be like, oh no, I'm not gonna do that, or I know what to look for in my child if something may happen. So having
or your friend or your other family member, and then these services that we're talking about is free. ARCA, the Assistant Recovery Centers of America, that's up there on Tuesdays. Those services are free of charge. All you have to do is bring your ID so they can make sure you are who you say you are. But substance abuse, mental abuse, whatever medication you need, therapy you need, those are free of charge. Even if you have family members, we have to get past that stigma. Yes, it is in the Black community. We know substance abuse is there, mental abuse is there, but we have help. And we have organizations who is willing to help. And if you don't have insurance, it doesn't matter. It's free. And so that's what we're here to bring these resources to you, or to at least make you aware of them so you can access them yourself. We can bring you to the water, but we can't make you drink.
That part.
So but we can only do so much. So before we get out of here, I want you to tell us, how can the community connect with you? The Hood Talks.
Well, if this is your first time hearing about the Hood Talks podcast, we are Facebook, Instagram, We're on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel also, the Hood Talk live shows. But you can find out about us at www.dahoodtalks.com. And yeah, you will find out all of the platforms we are on, because we're also on all the podcast platforms, and how you can tap into and listen and also support the Hood Talks podcast.
Awesome, because yes, we all need support. We need to be there for one another. It's about reaching out, being a part of the community. Because we are a part of the community, whether we, think we are or not.
Yes.
And so,
yes.
I want to thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Live platform, the discussion about the Hood Talks. If you just coming in, or if you saw snippets of this discussion, this is Shavana, host, who is the creator of the Dahoodtalks Podcast. That you can see. Go to her Facebook page, The Hood Talks. It's right across the screen up under her picture, her profile. You can like her page, join her group, so you can make sure that anytime she has a podcast or a panel or a discussion, that you are made aware of it, because this is something that is needed in the community. We are going to partner together for sure, because there's so many commonalities between JADASA Live and the Hood Talks, but we're trying to reach out to the community because we need our communities healthy and whole. And we need our communities to know that there is things out there, resources available to you. There are resources available to you, and that we're here to make those resources there. Anytime you need them, reach out, family, friends. If you don't need the resources and you have wait a minute.
You might know somebody that will.
I know you know somebody. You have a family member,
a cousin,
everybody got
a homegirl.
Everybody got that Uncle Pookie that come to the family reunion, and everybody be trying to give him the side eye, hoping he don't come over and say nothing to you. Everybody got one of them. Come on now.
Yes. Your baby daddy. Look, we don't discriminate around here at the Hood Talks Podcast, y'all. Right. Bring them out. Real quick, we do have one episode or new episode coming up this Saturday at noon. It's called Black Men Mentors Matter. So we will have an awesome panel of Black men, young and older, talking about mentorship, Black men and mentoring. So tune in again. We will be live on Facebook, the Hood Talks live shows. Catch that 12 o'clock.
Awesome. So Facebook, social media. Before we leave, remember, this Saturday is the Dignity Drive. It's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 1433 Steiny Road. That is the UCC Resource Center. That is our location where JADASA is now housed. Our office is there. And so we want you to come out. We have all these toiletries. That's F-R-E-E. F-R-E. All of these toiletries. Come out. If you know some people that need it, give them the information. Go to my website, jadasa.org. Go to my Facebook page. Get the flyers. Send it to them. If you know some people that need these toiletries and they can't get out, and you got a car, come pick the stuff up for them and take it.
I was like, come get it.
Come get it for them. 10 a.m. to 1 o'clock, because we ain't going to be out there all day. It's hot, okay? But we want to be out there to service the community and be there for you. So, as you guys,
the Hood Talks Podcast will be there.
Yeah, and the Hood Talk. Come on, y'all. Come on. We're going to have some fun. The Hood Talk is going to be out there with JADASA. We're going to have good. You know what? They even cooking hot dogs. They grilling free hot dogs and juice, drinks. Come out there, get you a little snack, get you some toiletries, give it to some people. Go home, go on about your business, do what you got to do. We know it's Saturday, and Saturday is a premium day for everybody. We only take them for 3 hours for you to come out there and get this stuff. So we want you to know, you already know, it's JADASA 24/7, 365 days, all day, every day. We want you to be safe, we want you to be well, and we want you to be whole. And with that being said, good night.